Okay, today we're going to be doing Wylock 5th grade lesson 16, problem solving skills, too much or too little information. So, solve each if you can. If a problem is incomplete, tell what information you would need to solve it. So, for number 1, a farmer harvested 45,320 pounds of wheat from 3 fields. He sold 18,470 pounds at the market and plans to store the rest in a barn that can hold a maximum of 30,000 pounds. How much wheat will the farmer have left, and will it fit in the barn? So basically, we need to see that we know that there's a total of 45,320, and then he sold this amount, so we would subtract these two. So see how much we have right now. So this. So if we subtract this, just 8, 14, 6. Okay, so we have 26,850 right now, but that's not what the question is asking. The question asking how much wheat will the farmer have left? So this is the first part. And then will it fit in the barn? So the barn says that it can hold a maximum of 30,000, and since 26,850 is less than 30,000, yes it can. Okay, so let's try number 4 now. Emma started with $85 in her savings account. She earned $45 from chores and spent $36 on a gift for her brother. Then she bought some school supplies. How much money does she have now? Okay, so we're trying to figure out how much money she has right now. And she started with 85 and she earned $45. So you would add 45. So, so 10. So this means that she has $130 right now. And then she spent 36. So we would subtract 36 from the 130. So we would have 94. Sorry, 90. So we would have $94 left. And then with that, it says she bought some school supplies. But since it does not tell us how much the school supplies cost, we don't know how much she has now, since we would need to know how much to subtract in order to figure out how much she has now. So this problem cannot be solved with this information. Okay. A baker made 2,435 cookies in the morning. By the afternoon, she baked another 1,270 cookies and sold some of them at the bakery. If 1,860 cookies remained, how many cookies were sold in total? So we started with 2,435, and then there's an extra 1,270 cookies. So we would add these two numbers together to see how much we have. So we have 3,705 right now, but the question is asking how many were sold. So 1,860 cookies remained after they were sold. So to find the difference between them, we would subtract them. So we know that after we subtracted them, we got 1,845, which is the amount of cookies that were sold. Okay. Now, a store received a shipment of 10,456 items. Some items were damaged and could not be sold, while the rest were divided evenly across 8 store shelves. How many items were placed on each shelf? Okay. So it says that it was divided evenly across 8 store shelves, so the logical approach would be to divide this number by 8, but it gives us this information that some items were damaged and could not be sold, which means that out of these 10,456, before we divide, we would have to subtract the number of items that could not be sold, the damaged items. But since the problem does not give us how many items were damaged, we don't know what number to divide by 8. So, this problem cannot be solved with the information given. There's not enough information. Yeah. A sports team scored 58 points in their last game. Their opponents scored fewer points, and the winning team won by 12 points. How many points did the opponent score? Okay, so we know that a sports team scored 58 and their opponent scored fewer points. So this, let's call this sports team A and sports team B. So sports team A, we know that they won, and sports team B, since they scored fewer points, eventually like they lost. And the winning team, so team A won by 12 points. So we're trying to find the amount of points that team B had, so the opponent score. And since they won by 12 points, we could just subtract 58 by 12 to see how many points the opponents had. So since they won by 12, the opponents had 46 points. Okay, now number 9. An artist mixed 1,234 milliliters of red paint with an unknown amount of blue paint to create a custom purple color. So after finishing the mural, the artist had 845 milliliters of paint left. How much blue paint was used in the mixture? Okay, so we know that the artist used 1,234 milliliters of red paint with an unknown amount of blue paint. So we don't know how much blue, but we do know how much red to create purple. So they're mixing these two together, and then after finishing, the artist had 845 milliliters of paint in general left. So basically, they're asking how much blue paint was used in the mixture. So the logical approach here would be to finishing the mural. The logical approach here would be to subtract these numbers because we're trying to find out how much paint was taken away. So how much blue paint was used. Um, but since we don't know the initial amount of blue paint that there was, we can't really know how much was used because even if we subtract these two numbers together, the amount of paint, there could have been more paint of red used or more paint of blue used. It's not an exact thing that we could like understand. So this means that we don't have enough information to solve this problem.